It is 9:10. This is part 8 about the prophetic word, the dream that I had, what I feel I need to get out because I can't hold it in. That is doing more harm than help, and this can help others, is what I feel. People might even feel like you're contradicting yourself, or you do contradict yourself, but it can be both things. Because, like I said, if there's light present, there's also dark present. If God is present, so is Satan. If Satan's present, so is God. And some people hate that, but both things can be true at the simultaneous time. 30 seconds. Also, it's just there's a big thing about irony in this channel, in this reading, in this whatever you really want to call this. It wasn't really a reading to begin with, but I'm gonna just say it anyways because it might resonate with someone for me to say it that way more than others. That's why I say the things I say, because it might make sense to one person this way and might make sense to somebody else another way. My shoulder hurts right now. Sore muscles, baby. 1 minute. Either way, 101. 9:11 on the time. Thing about peace, or you are peace within yourself. You bring peace to yourself. You are within your peaceful era. But it's not that you get manic. It's not that you're a maniac. It's not that this and that and the third. It's not that you're a different person. That's your reaction to their reflection, your reaction to their abuse, your reaction. And no, you're not redacting anything, you're doubling down on it. 130, 131, you told the truth. You told the truth, and they sold the truth. They sold it to Satan and said, to the highest bidder, I'll lie for you. They think that's psycho, or that's crazy, or that's this, or that's that. But you are putting up a fight for God because you love God. But that doesn't mean you can't find peace. 155, within chaos. Our world is in such a chaotic state. There is wars, there's people being shot and bombed and dying, and supplies being cut off, and resources being cut off, and making our lives harder when we could really just work together here. But a lot of people refuse to do that. That shit is dead. Yeah, sometimes it is dead. Sometimes you gotta walk away. Sometimes you gotta find people that will actually show up when you need them, when necessary. And you will one day. 320 or 230, 232, 233. You get the point. And no, I'm not crying, even if I do sometimes cry on the inside. It's not a cry for help. It's not a cry for this or for that. It's just the truth. Something about indignant, and something about someone's rights, or rights being taken or stripped, or someone wanted to strip you of your rights. 255, they're demonic, I heard. They're demonic. Because they wanted to steal this from you, your everything. 303. They wanted to steal everything away from you. Didn't you already take enough from me? Aren't you satisfied yet? 310, 311, some people will never be satisfied. And that's a them problem, not a you problem, because you're happy and grateful for everything you have. Even if others have more or others have less, you're grateful for what you have and where you're at, because you've been worse places. 330, you've been through worse situations. You've been through this your whole life. You've experienced the most to get to where you are now, to keep pushing yourself forward. 340, someone might wonder why I'm covering my mouth, or like doing this or that, or they want to cover your mouth. They want to silence you. For what? For what? To make you happy, to make you comfortable, to drown me, to suffocate and kill me, because that's what it's doing to my body. You want me to suffer for you some more? I don't have it within me anymore. I'm sorry. They want to treat you like you're the harm that they've done. Almost said something about panda eyes or panda. These people can't see the pain written on your face because they're non-empathetic. And you know what? They did a study saying, 80% of the world doesn't have a conscience. 80% of the world doesn't have empathy. And I think that's crazy, because I do. So, how are you so different? You really just don't care about other people? You really don't think they matter? Okay. And some people might worry or be confused as to why you repeat yourself. It's because it's necessary. And if they see that part, they may not see this part. So they may need to hear this part. And they may need to just hear this part. They may not need to see every single part. They need to take what resonates, though. And if I have to repeat it, it's because the message is needing to be heard for more than one person. For maybe the same person needs to hear the same message over and over for them to get it through their fucking thick skull. 525. Because some people are really fucking stubborn. I give a lot of leeway. I move a lot. They're talking about your procrastination. Why do they care? Why do they care when or how or when you go about it? You show up when you can, and that is what's important. You have to show up for yourself so you can show up for others. 555. I almost said something about balls or beaver falls or falls. I don't know. Waterfalls. I don't know. In my dream, when my sister-in-law fell into the ball pit, I then dove into a swimming pool. I didn't know. I couldn't see the bottom. I couldn't see what was in it. I didn't know how deep. I just dove without fear. Then when I resurfaced, it was all black and white and gray, and I was kind of scared. It kind of seemed like a nightmare. I was like, well, was this a portal to another realm? Do I go back up there and dive again? But I climbed up there, and everything down there again looked normal. It all looked normal again, where the people were all back down there having fun, partying, laughing, chatting with each other, and there was people on the steps again. So then I thought, okay, well, now I can go back down again. Because this time I made sure they're all down there again, and I went to go dive in the pool, but I all of a sudden was afraid of heights. And that reminded me of when I was little, when I wasn't scared of them, and then when someone put that fear into my head. I've always said, sometimes you're not going to know what's down there, you just have to dive anyways, even if you're scared. And that's something I've even told to my mother. And I've talked to her about it, and she tells other people about it, she told me. And I'm like, I'm glad it can help other people and some of your clients and stuff, because she was a counselor. 919, 727. I told her about how when I was on the high dive, I was scared, but I jumped anyways. Not knowing, because I couldn't see in the water what was down there. Even though I'd heard also some things about touching the docks around it, that some people got cut up on mussels, like their zebra mussels and stuff. So that was like, in a way, instilling fear into me. And then people trying to make me afraid when I was up there, and everything looked all wobbly and shaky and ungrounded and, just funny looking. That's what it looks like when you're like afraid of heights. But I closed my eyes and I jumped in anyways. And I was used to do cannonballs and stuff off the high dive. It was so much fun for me. I can't really do that shit now because my legs are fucked up and I'm not that great of a swimmer anymore because I got metal in my legs, and the metal in my legs sink. There is so much metal in my legs sink. The rest of my body floats, but my legs sink. And it's kind of scary to me. Either way, we're not talking about that. 8:38. So I went to jump back in the pool thinking, my friends are going to be down there the second time I jump in there, and I resurface again, and it's back to this gray, black, and white scene, and I'm just like scared because the stairs have moved again. 8:55. And the figure that was up there when I first dived in is kind of now hiding behind the thing, hiding because it sensed that I was afraid of it. But in a way, I felt like that was like God or my higher self, my angels, my spirit guides, all of it. Like wrapped in a wood. Just telling me what was up. 919, 920. But because I again was there and everyone had disappeared, I looked around and it had seemed abandoned, and there was just one big bed there now. And it had this like gray comforter, like a really soft one. And I laid in it and I just felt myself sinking into it, like sinking so far into it where I couldn't surface. 940 made it hard to breathe, made it hard to see. It was all dark in there. Like I lay on it and I just sink right into it. And it was like, in a way, I was like basically hiding in a hole, hiding from God, hiding, and that's kind of also representative of 955 when I said I went down into the basement